Okay, now what about this private property right
That's
here?
all, no, this is all permitted. The
Private property is not permitted. I talked to him today.
Okay,
We have
but,
a trespass. We have
Yeah.
a trespass paper on this property. You're not allowed to stand in
yeah,
there.
Okay, so what you're saying is this private property right over here.
we have
you
a trespass paper from the owners of the property, from the building management, and then
So
nobody.
who? Oh, that no one's allowed to? Not even the Sodomites?
Who?
The Sodomites, the homosexuals? They're not allowed to be on there either? Or is it just selective to Christians?
Well, Tom Berry is the one who is aware of the notice that they've given us, so you would have to ask him.
Okay.
'Cause I wasn't made aware of that.
All right, so
Wants to be here with us.
Either he goes down there or he trespasses.
there was no barricade down there, so I'm going to cross over and go to that private property over
You're not
there.
allowed. You're not allowed. That's our permit over there too.
I'm not using it.
Yes, he was. And
Yeah, I
that's our
wasn't
property
told.
over there.
You see that little corner, that little grassy knoll?
All the way across.
You know that grassy knoll right there?
All the way to Twins.
Man, let me show you. Officer Hannah, you see that grassy knoll right there? That's private property. Let me zoom in
No,
on.
actually, all the way to the barricades, because that's still a special
Yeah,
event tonight.
right, all the public access. But you see right there, that private property, that grassy spot, that is not public property. That has not been permitted. Okay, that's private property. And if, also, when I'm here, I read the permit, you need a supervisor. I'll be over there. Can you get your supervisor?
Yeah.
And I'll hold off on this till he comes, okay?
Okay, no,
Thanks.
that's perfect.
Now the Bible tells us that it is an abomination for a man to lie with a man as of womankind. The Bible tells us in the first chapter of the book of Romans that it is unnatural. And when you say that you're born a homosexual, you are lying and trying to justify your sin. You cannot justify something as unnatural as homosexuality. Now when the Bible said that a man working with a man, burning in their own lust one toward another, working that which is unseemly, the Apostle Paul said that you will receive the recompense of your deeds. The Bible said in Psalms 9:17, the wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. You need to know that. Psalm 7 and 11, the Bible said God judgeth the righteous, and God is angry with the wicked every day. What you need is a good dose of the fear of God.
Hey, are you the supervisor?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But you're trespassing on a construction area. That's a felony in the state of Florida.
Actually, the construction area is on the other side
No,
of that
sir.
fence.
It's all. This is all the construction area. If you want to talk about it in court,
Well, actually,
I can take
when I talked to your police officer,
you're going to have to stand on the other side of the barricades until
Okay.
the supervisor gets here, because right now you are committing a felony, trespassing on a construction site.
Really? Well,
That's
because
your
we're
warning.
standing here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll move because we don't want to
Okay.
get arrested. But you're going to arrest
Okay.
us if we don't move, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, has this property
It's
told you that?
It's posted. This all is construction area all the way to the sidewalk.
Okay.
It's construction area.
Okay. And
I'm
when
not going to discuss any further.
Well, I'm asking
No.
you about your supervisor, sir.
He's on his way, but you're going to have
Okay,
to stand
good.
outside of.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna actually walk back to our spot over there.
Okay, then you need to.
Yeah, we're not going to talk under there
Okay.
while we walk.
Okay.
All right. Sir, God's going to judge you. I have a question for you. Yeah, I've read their permit and everything, and they're in violation of their permit right now by not having a supervisor. It says when there's anybody opposing that you need to have two officers.
I call the supervisor. You have to take that up with him when he gets
Okay,
here.
all right, good.
You can't go pick him up from
No,
wherever
that's
he's
fine.
at.
I'm just wanting you to be aware of it since you're very, eager to enforce all the permit rules. Okay. All right. We'll still be waiting for him. Thanks.
I'm lieutenant in this area. Yes, sir.
Great. Lieutenant Lovering. I was just curious because we were standing on that private property over there and we were preaching, and your officer said that I'd be arrested if I stood there. All right? And I said, well, can I speak to a supervisor because it doesn't really seem right to me. What do you think?
I think he's right.
Yes?
And I think we don't want issues today, okay? You're more than free to do what you know you're allowed to do out here, but
Okay.
that's not one of them, okay?
Preaching on private property?
On that particular area defined by those boundaries,
Right.
yes, sir, you're not allowed to be on right
Okay.
now.
And if I get permission from the owners of that, then am I allowed to?
Permissions from owners of what?
Of that private property.
inside their fence line, standing in the middle of that property?
Absolutely not. Their property goes, when it comes adjacent to that sidewalk, and there's a part that is outside the fenced area where that sign is, and that's where we're standing, on private property, and which makes us fall into the decibel range, according to your ordinances, of 85 decibels. So we're standing there, just preaching, okay? And then your officer said, look, that's a construction site, you're trespassing on private property, and you'll be arrested. Well, I said, if I stay here, will you arrest me? He said, yes. So then I said, okay, I don't want to be arrested, and I left. I said, can I talk to your supervisor, because it doesn't seem right. All right? I mean, and that's it, because, you know, what if they did give me permission? I don't have to tell you they gave me permission. If they complain, yeah, then you can come say, hey, look, you're trespassing, you need to leave. But there's no complaint, there's no crime, there's no specific intent to do any harm. Now, as a citizen, I'm allowed to do anything I want unless the law says I can't. And you as the government, the law enforcement, can't do a thing unless there's a law that says you can't. And I think you're breaking the law when you tell me that I can't preach on private property when there's not even been a complaint from the owners. You see? And that's why I said, well, let me talk to you, because maybe you'll understand that.
Well, I can understand your argument.
Okay. You might want to talk to your city attorney. Talk to the city attorney and get a legal opinion. You might.
Well, as of today,
yes,
we're going to go with what the officer says.
Okay.
Okay?
No problem.
If you get somebody in legal to try and define that a little bit differently, which I don't believe you will,
okay,
then we'll deal with it. Okay?
Sure.
But right now, you have the right to do what you know you can do, preach. That's fine with us.
Sure, absolutely.
But just don't violate trespass and all that. No reason to go to jail today, okay?
No, hey, I don't want to go to jail.
You can't step off the curb. This is a closed sidewalk.
Well, I kept moving. Yeah, I kept moving.
Doesn't matter. 316-130 says that you have to cross at the nearest sidewalk and go to the one that's open.
Okay.
This is closed. As far as being in this morning, in the event area this morning, at 12:30 with your bullhorn, or 12:04 with your bullhorn,
right,
you have the permitted times. You are past that, so now you're trespassed from the event area because you
What are you
violate.
talking about? Now, you need to do that back then, but you can't trespass from the
Yes, I
event
can.
area.
It was
How can
witnessed
you?
by the police. Anything witnessed by the police, I can witness you driving on a suspended license, and a day later
Well,
I can charge you.
First of all, you told me that I wasn't allowed on that private
No.
property.
At 12:04, you were standing in the road in front of the Tampa Theater,
So we're allowed to.
not with the bullhorn.
I wasn't using the bullhorn.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't. Are
Okay.
you ready for this? I'm going to tell you something, so we're clear.
I'm going to ask for your identification.
Okay, that's fine. So, Officer,
Can I have your identification?
Yes.
Can I have,
There were
no.
no-
I'm going to ask for your
Here,
identification
hold up,
first.
okay.
If you're failing to give me your identification, then we'll deal with that.
You think this is selective prosecution?
Absolutely not.
This guy's a side of my right here, too. From a couple years ago, I know him. That's true. That's the wrong one. There you go. Their barricades were not up.
It doesn't matter.
All right, when they came and told me, I turned it off. I said, okay. And then I walked over and I went out to the private property.
Okay, let me explain something to you.
Who's your supervisor?
I'm trying to explain something
Sure.
to you, but you're not listening to me.
I'm listening.
Let me explain something to you.
Go ahead.
If there's nobody here and there's no barricades up, it's still permitted from 12 to 1 o'clock. If we tear this down tonight at 11 o'clock and it's still permitted till 1, you still can't walk through until 1 o'clock. You have the permitting hours. That was your verbal warning. This is your second warning. You're going to get a trespass warning.
Doesn't make sense. I walked in there when you told me, said, hey, you can't do that. I stopped. And the other guy was on the bullhorn anyway.
I understand that, and you're getting trespassed for that. No, you
For
were
him
at
talking on the
12:04.
bullhorn.
You were on the bullhorn this morning.
The other guy was on the bullhorn.
No, sir, he was not. And I'll testify that to court if we need to do that.
And you'll lie again, won't you? Boy, it must be tough being you. One day you will stand before a holy and just God, officer. You know that?
You understand that you are trespassed from the event?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'm telling you you're trespassed from the event, and the other
Can I
officer
talk to
here
your supervisor, please?
You can call the police department and get a
First of all,
supervisor.
the permit says...
It does not.
Yes, it does.
It does not.
All right, hey, could you hold this for a second? Let me show you the permit, since apparently you're unaware of that.
Okay.
There you go. One police supervisor must be on site at all times when persons with opposing view are present and is an operator.
Okay, who did you get this from? Then you need to contact special events because I can't demand supervisors stay here the whole time. I have no authority to do that.
Right now, I'm asking for a supervisor to come out and talk.
I'll have a supervisor respond, but